Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a weekly video podcast where we talk about all of the latest and greatest happenings in the VGC community, VGC metagame, all that sort of thing. And today we've got two special guests. We've got, first and foremost, we've got NPA Commissioner Caleb. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Audie.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Do you want to introduce yourself? I don't think you've been on the show before.
Sure. My name's Caleb Breyer, known as Cable VGC Online. I've been playing VGC since 2010 now. Go to a lot of events, but more importantly, like to work with the community online. And this year, I'm the commissioner of NPA, which we'll be talking about a bit later.
Yeah. And then we've also got O Captain, My Captain, manager of the NPA Monarchs, and also competitor at Charlotte Regionals. Actually, Caleb, are you going to Charlotte too?
Last minute, yes.
Oh,
14-hour drive, but I'll be there.
Okay, yeah. So we
Whoa.
got two competitors at Charlotte. We also got Justin Burns. How you doing?
Hello, doing pretty good. It's we've been kind of getting some snow drifts here in the south, but staying warm.
Yep. Yeah, it's like 20 degrees out here in Texas, and everyone's freaking out, which I think is kind of funny. And then, last but not least, we've got defending Portland regional champion, and my co-host as well, Alex Underhill. What's up?
Who am I? What am I defending? I got a long time, bro. Don't put that on me yet.
You
Portland
got
isn't for like.
He can still be reigning champion.
reigning North
Oh,
American
that is
champion,
true.
regional champion. I don't know where I'm going with that one. But
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
today we have
Hi, people.
for another week at least. You are still the talk of the town. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about this week. But as per usual, if you miss any of this, or if you can't make it all the way through, this will be out on YouTube tomorrow. So !YT in chat. You can get a link to my YouTube channel. Caleb's been on there before too. So yeah, we got a few things to talk about, and I guess first and foremost, we're going to talk about NPA. So I guess for those who don't know about NPA, Caleb, do you want to give us a quick rundown about what this is?
Sure. I'd say it's the premier draft league of the VGC community online. It's been going on since I want to say it was like 2011, 2012 on Smogon, and just this year actually they left after the first season, but we've come back to Smogon with talks with actually Justin here a couple months ago, so that this year we have custom showdown avatars as draft kind of entry prizes, but also a custom one to the winner of the league. So basically, the league works where it's like I'd say you compared it to like a fantasy league where you're like drafting players, but the players are actually competing against each other. And so our format, we have essentially a round robin situation going on, and then top 4 teams out of the 10 teams in the league will get a playoff and see who wins.
Yeah, I personally I love NPA. I did it for I think the last 5 years now, and I think that it met a lot of really cool people, and I've also I think grown a lot as a player because of it. I'm not playing this year just for time reasons, but I do have a lot of fond memories of it. And Justin wanted 30 seconds to talk about it, and we made that a condition on coming on the show. So we're gonna give him the 30 seconds right now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go through my team real quick, just hype up my team. We drafted Marco Fierro. He could be arguably the best player in the world right now. Just won LAIC. We have Robbie, senior LAIC champion. So we actually have both. He's really good too. I think he's honestly like as good as some of the top masters right now. We've got Gahaku and Kakunaka from Japan, both really strong players. We've got Pearl and Bruno from Smogon. Pearl just cut a European regional, and Bruno just made day 2 LAIC. We've got Imagi, longtime European player. We've got Nova, an Italian who just cut Worlds. We've got KKC Wind, a player from Taiwan, who's really good. And we have T-Man and Ace Noak, who are,
Never heard of him.
T-Man's a Monarchs tradition. Yeah. Noak, good player.
All right, so quickly. Let's do smart money for NPA this year. Justin, who do you got?
Monarchs, of course.
Caleb, who do you have?
Are we allowed to ask Caleb? Caleb, you're not like you're
No, I
the
actually
commissioner.
on the draft stream I did make a short like relative power ranking where
Okay.
I had the symbiotes on number one. I
Mm.
thought they had a mix of old and new players, and their power level just generally kind of impressed me the most. But the most steals of the draft, I think, went to the puppies. The puppies, I'd say they have the history as like the best team in the history of NPA, and they're just kind of showing that they want to remain that.
All right. Wait, so who's your
Oh,
smart money?
man.
You didn't pick one.
Our
Oh
so-
well, I go puppies.
Okay.
I think symbiotes will
Oh,
get up there, but I think puppies will win again.
All right, Alex.
okay, that works out because I thought Caleb was gonna steal mine, and I was gonna have to ask if we're doing the like I can't pick the same one rules. But
Oh.
symbionts were left. That was my number one. There's a lot of tub in there, and so no bias at all.
All right. As the three-time NPA defending champion, twice on the puppies, once on the samurais, I gotta go with my team as well. I gotta go with the puppies. I've also played on the Monarchs. I got top 4 that year too. I love the Monarchs too. But no, I think
A
the
second
puppies.
that year.
We got.
We got
We got
second.
second. Yeah, that's right. I got to go with the puppies. I agree with Caleb. I think that I love this draft strategy. You got 7 players between 10 and 16K. And every single one of those players is a high quality starter. I do think Mars maybe a little bit of an overpay, but every single other player on this roster, and even then, he's so established in draft leagues that it's still.
They're the only team that didn't pay over 20K.
Yeah,
for
and
a player.
I think that's a fantastic draft strategy. I think you could start again. You literally have your 7 starters right there, plus a very very deep bench. Ijdak and Tabu were both on the championship teams that I was on as well, and have really established themselves in draft leagues as well. Angelo Hunter is fantastic. Sella and Apple Pie are great veterans, and so I got to pick the puppies as my smart money for NPA this year. All right.
The only other thing I have to say about these teams is that we are still continuing our like relegation system, and there are 2 teams that need to get like a certain amount of points, or like I think they need to get like top 4 in the league to stay in the league, being the Stars and the Monarchs, which is why I think Justin left. He's
No, it's
gone
not
right now.
He said he has a phone call. he'll be back soon. But yeah, so that's NPA. Do you have like any streaming stuff that you're doing this year? Any official streams?
Yeah, we're gonna actually try to use an official NPA stream. I know we used Popopo, European player, his stream last year, and he did the draft stream the other day. But he's gonna join various different casters and do weekly kind of some reviews of showdown sets, but also get some cart sets sent to us to commentate over.
Oh yeah. If you want to link that in chat for people to be able to
Sure.
To follow the NPA, that'd be cool. Definitely looking forward to that as well. But yeah, that's gonna do it for our NPA talk. Definitely gonna follow along and see how that goes over the course of the year. And with that, let's talk about the next.
Adi,
What's up?
Adi, one more thing.
Yeah.
You got to talk a lot about your picks, and you had a second pick too. So I think the aces are really good, and I kind of go. I used to be the I used to draft like the puppies roster where I'd get a bunch of guys for cheat, and the last time I did that, we got second. But since then, we've added that elo system, and I actually think you want to spend a lot on a top like a number 1 that you expect to like beat all the other number 1s, and that's why I went out and got Margot, and that's why I think the aces are kind of like insane, because not only did they get Snow, who I considered like a tier 0 player in the draft pool alongside Marco, they also have Huyubarit, who I also thought was the other tier 0 player, and they managed to get both. So they're not only they have a really good number 1, they have a really good number 2, and that's almost like 2 guaranteed wins a week, in my opinion. And when you have your number 1 and number 2 beating the other teams' number 1 and number 2, that's already like such a huge advantage, because the rest of your players will be playing against players closer to their skill levels that are going to be closer to toss-ups. But yeah, that's my soapbox. I think the aces are like insane.
I do think Snow is maybe the only player who's actually worth 30K, just because like is how consistently well he's done. He's just like swept NPA every other year. It feels like other times you see 30K players and it's kind of a toss up whether they live up to that. Snow, every single time he's worth it. And so if you put it, that's why I like the puppies draft. If you're putting up 30K, you better be damn sure that the person you're drafting is going to be worth it. And Snow is the one person who, fair enough, right? Fair enough if you think Marco Fierro is that consistent. I think we saw like a Gotti flop a couple years ago, who I thought would be in the same camp level as Marco Fierro. So you never know. But Snow, that's the one player who he is going to absolutely be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I know Alex is already thinking, man, can we move on from this? So I'm gonna use my host powers to move on.
I do want to clarify. I'll add my 15 seconds of NPA. Adi said we'll be making sure to keep up with NPA. I hope we don't.
I will make sure to keep up with it personally.
I forced Alex.
Come from it.
Alex wanted me on the show, and I said you have to talk about NPA if you want me on the show. Because initially he was like, no NPA talk.
I did say this.
I just have that much pull over the show.
It's true. It's true. I mean, longtime guest, longtime. We're a big fan of you on the show. And anyways,
so
let's talk about anything else.
Let's talk about the next thing, which is let's talk about the big tournament that happened this weekend. Victory Road hosted their Winter Challenge. This is 258 players, which you might think it's pretty comparable to some of these Limitless tours. But I always think that these tournaments that have entry fees are so much more competitive than a lot of the free Limitless tours that get similar numbers, or free whatever tours, just because you have to be willing to put the money where your mouth is when you're playing at these tours. It's not you have to at least have some level of confidence in your team, some level of preparation going into these. And so I always think these tours are a really, really good showcase of the metagame and a showcase of some of the best players in the world. And we see some of the best players in the world doing very well. But this is the big tour that we want to talk about this week. Let's talk about the results with this sort of Blood Moon for Rigorath team getting first place. So I guess does anyone want to start us off? Does anyone want to talk about this?
Yeah. So I think one thing I want to jump in and talk about is just like how real this tournament was. Like, I mean, I didn't realize there was like nearly $1,000 in the line. 877 for first is nothing to scoff at, and 110-ish for top 8. You can only go up from there. This wasn't a small stakes tournament, and I obviously didn't want to be playing in anything online a week afterwards. But if this had happened in any other time, I would have been like, oh wow, this is actually a tournament worth playing. There's some serious cash on the line, and it's just always fun because that makes the games that much more intense. So definitely congrats to the people who made it into the money and really proved that they could do it.
I will say, I think this tournament started at like 5 a.m. local time for you or something like that, so I don't think you were playing in it.
5 a.m., bro? You don't.
It would have been 6 a.m. It was 6 a.m.
Oh, okay.
6 a.m. Just a walk in the park.
Still early.
Easy.
But hey, I mean, Ryan is West Coast, and he woke up early and got second place, so I guess it's not.
Alex typically stays up until 6 a.m.
I was just to say, I'm not even in bed at 6 a.m. I'm still up.
But yeah, there's definitely some bigger overall trends to talk about. I'm sure you can see it just by looking at this top 8. But I do want to talk about the teams that got first and second before we dive into what was Spam just domination over the course of this tournament. But yeah, let's look at the first place team, which is this for Rigorath Blood Moon team, very similar to the team that Hoj used, I think, to top Stuttgart Regionals last format. And I think that definitely some differences. That team had like Grass Fluttermane and stuff like that. Obviously no Incineroar. But the Fluttermane Urshifu for Rigorath Blood Moon core, I think he had an Ogerpon too, remains the same. I'm going to let someone else talk about it because I don't actually know what to say about this team.
I mean, we've seen stuff like it before. Obviously, the new tool being Incineroar here. Everything else is a Pokemon that was legal in Regulation E. But the thing that I think this team seems well positioned in right now is just looking at some of the top stuff from Portland. Whether you're looking at the Spam team that doesn't like seeing two dark types. You're looking at Chubba's Dondozo team, which, as far as I know, doesn't love Urshifu Dark. And then there's Pownite, priority spam that hates seeing that giraffe. And so there's just a lot of like top teams that are very targeted by stuff like this. And so it's a very good, well-rounded team with two modes, fast and slow, that can, play its way through a variety of different teams because it's so flexible.
Yeah, this has been kind of like the best like Ursaluna comps for both forms. They always usually have the speed booster flutter and something fast that hits hard and kind of like ignores counterplay like Dragonite with the choice band flying Terra Blast or the Urshifu, as we can see on this team. And then there's the trick room mode with Cresselia, regular Ursaluna, or Farigiraf and the you know
The Blood
Blood
Moon.
Moon,
Yeah.
the Blood Moon Ursaluna, and then rounding it off is Ogerpon, which both has offensive pressure with the Ivy Cudgel and also has defensive support with Follow Me. It seems to be looking like the best Pokemon in the format right now as you kind of scroll down the list of top cut teams. So it's really nothing like it's really nothing we haven't seen before, but it just right now it's well positioned into the metagame. It appears like.
Yeah.
To say something about it, just outside of like the other Farigiraf Blood Moon teams, this does have the Assault Vest Incineroar. So just with the Terra Grass, because the one thing Ursaluna, Blood Moon, and Farigiraf hate having to deal with is Amoonguss, but this variant seems to just approach that a bit differently. So I'm sure in the bracket they had to play plenty and were able to take on them without having to have the dedicated like Amoonguss text on the Farigiraf or the Blood Moon that other teams might have to opt into.
Something that I do love about how Victory Road organizes their Pokemon is that you get to see what is appearing on a lot of teams because of the way that they stack the Pokemon. And so, like, yeah, we're talking about all the Ogerpon in top 8, but you scroll down and then in top 16, that's just like where all the Amoongus's end up. And so, the players that fought their way here definitely had to fight their way past some Amoonguss teams, and yeah, it's just kind of funny the way that they line them up like that. It's always so satisfying to see.
Yeah, and so one thing
I will say, it's really funny that you see the Blood Moon team with Ensign at first, and then you scroll down a bit and you see there's one at like 21st, and it's just very funny because the main difference is that Incineroar, and when you start looking at the teams in top 4 and top 8, you're like, I wonder what the difference is between Incin and having something like Iron Hands or Iron Hands in like the Fire Ogerpon.
Sorry,
it's
Alex.
it's pretty funny.
I made you invisible. You should be able to see. I hope they can see you now. Anyways, yeah, I was gonna say I did not realize I was looking at this team and I said it was comparable to Hoja's team because that was the Farigiraf Blood Moon team that I was thinking of. But I also realized that Giovanni Costa's team from Portland, who he bubbled out of top cut, is the exact same team except with a Goldengo instead of the Blood Moon, which is also very interesting. And we talked about the Amoonguss weakness, and Goldengo does actually cover for that a little better. So it's interesting that we saw it almost looks like exactly the same team, except for that one change and like the Farigiraf set. And so it is interesting to see that that adaptation. At Portland, we saw Farigiraf was top 12 in usage in day 1 and then fell off in day 2. It was like 3 in day 2. And so it really so it really did not convert from day 1 to day 2. And even though it's kind of picking up in usage more recently, it's interesting that people are copying the version that did very well at Portland, except they have managed a way to put the Blood Moon back on. So that's my take on the first place team. I did not realize that it was so similar to Geo's team at all. Anything else we want to talk about with this one, or do you want to move on to second place?
No, let's go ahead and talk about the next one.
Yeah, all right. So this is a team from Ryan Haig, who did actually wake up at 6 a.m. local time, I believe. And I think he tweeted out a couple his top 16 and top 8 match. He recorded them. And so if you want to watch some of his matches, he did actually show them off. But this team is very cool. He actually, even though he cut, let me pull up Portland actually. Now that we're talking about it, he cut Portland regionals, but he cut Portland regionals with a very different team. And so it's interesting to see him switch it up, and obviously it says a lot about his skill as a player that he can switch up teams and do so well a week later. That being said, I remember, and Glamora, of course, is the standout mon on this team, the one that's very unusual, but it's really interesting because he actually used Glamora a week before Portland in the Tommy Tuesday tour, and got week before Portland, 2 weeks before Portland, something like that, and he got 17th. He bubbled out of top cut with Glamora on a very different looking team, and so it is cool to see him keep playing around with the Pokemon that did get a new toy in Glamora and do very well with it on 2 different occasions with 2 very different teams around it.
Yeah, one thing that does overlap with the team that he used at Portland was the Fluttermane and Arcanine and Ogerpon are all probably the same, if not the exact same. He was using the Choice Band Arcanine and the Fluttermane Ogerpon core. Yeah, as we mentioned, Ogerpon is just kind of one of the best Pokemon in the format right now, and same thing can be said for Fluttermane. Arcanine Sui feels a bit more anti-meta. That there's certain teams that are lacking rock type resists, and this team doubles down on that. You've got Meteor Beam from Glamora to also do just heavy rock damage. This team is a much more aggressive and strong-looking version of what he ran at Portland, I'd say.
Yeah. I will say, I know we talked about this a little bit on the team report that we recorded for Alex's Portland team, but I thought that the strongest part of that team, for me, was the combination of Ogerpon, Fluttermane, and Entei. Entei, of course, Entei and Arcanine both being very strong fire types, and so kind of filling a similar role there. And it's not surprising that Ryan also saw a lot of success with that same sort of core. I think that core is one of the strongest things that you can be doing in this format right now.
Yeah, Ogerpon Wellspring is just one of the best roll compression Pokemon we've seen in a minute. You get a water and grass type on your team that is also supplying your team with redirection support and offense support. Yeah, I know that Ogerpon's been in the game for a couple of months now, but it's just kind of crazy what a Pokemon like this can do. It's just so versatile.
Yeah,
I definitely worry. Or sorry, you go, Justin.
I think Ogerpon does it in a very fair way.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of refreshing to see a Pokemon like that, like a new Pokemon like that, come up and be very successful.
And I was just going to say, on the flip side, a lot of these teams without Ogerpon Wellspring existing, like Urshifu Rapid Strike, just seems a lot safer into everything. So definitely a breath of fresh air. We knew since the second we saw it that it'd be great for us in this Urshifu climate.
Yeah, I was actually doing a bit of just like, I don't know, high level research into Regulation E, just like seeing like what teams did well throughout Regulation E, and it was depressing to look back at those ones. Even though we had Ogerpon, it was just like Tornurse. I was like, damn, this format sucked. I'm not gonna say Regulation F is much better though. I'm not gonna be that guy.
Look at this. It's a Tornurse team.
Yeah.
What do you mean? this
No, sorry. I'm not looking at Ryan Haig's team. I'm just looking at the teams in general. There are a lot of Tornurse though. Tornurse did actually make a pretty big comeback. Go ahead, Caleb.
We'll get to a point in which we hate Torn Dark Urshifu, just not yet.
Yeah.
But
that being said, we did see Darkshifu on both the first and second place teams, and that is a guy that I remember we talked about this after Portland. It had one of the highest conversion rates going into day 2 from day 1, and Water Shifu struggled a lot more. And it's not hard. This is Portland. I mean, not hard to see why with Portland either, where you see the 5 water ponds in top cut, but here as well, 5 water ponds in top 8, all 4 of top 4 having it, making life really difficult for water pond. But is this Dark Shifu as well? No, this one's water. Okay, but Dark Shifu making a big splash in this tournament. Ironically, getting first and second place.
Okay, so let's keep moving and talk about some of the other stuff that we see in the top 8 here, namely the half of the top 8 that is populated by Indeedee Iron Crown. Now, I do want to say, Adi mentioned earlier, like it dominated this tournament. Like, you do look at the rest of the teams in top 32 and you don't see any of it, which is like, I don't know. I'm not a big data guy. Maybe seeing 4 in top 8 is all you need, but it didn't show up anywhere below. So either they all hit their matchups and, drowned in top 4, top 8, or only a couple of people were running it and they were all popping off. But regardless, the archetype did show some serious strength this weekend with a decent variety of teams. Actually, I say variety. No, these teams all look very similar. Yeah, I don't know. There's something that we've seen before Portland, I think. we were seeing builds like this. We didn't see. I don't know how deep an Iron Crown made it in Portland itself. I'm actually going to go fact check that myself while you guys share your thoughts on the
Top 16.
archetype.
But this is like the standard version, the one that has the Chiyu. I feel like a lot of them were actually bulkier Chiyu, but I think this time were specs as well. But then you had usually Speed Booster Iron Crown. I assume this one is Speed Booster with the Indeedee, with the Urshifu of some sort. I feel like these 6, maybe not these 6. I feel like Tornadus might not have been on the teams that I was seeing by Portland. I guess I should pull up Portland as well.
No, yeah. I mean, if you look at Portland and click Iron Crown, it's actually quite interesting. So I definitely recommend looking at it. Yeah, just click Iron Crown and see what you find.
Click Iron Crown. Oh yeah, I used Explorer or something. I guess this is the weird one, huh? This is the one that did well, and I was complaining that it didn't have an Incineroar matchup.
Also, Adi, I'm going to take a quick interjection to realize that Zom was in the chat. Said, I'm afraid Glim's going to have like 3 top 8 slots at Charlotte, even though I'm not going. I'm glad I got my money out of the build first, because it's the event winning 6 for sure. Yeah, Glimora seems like a Pokemon that people weren't respecting enough pre-Portland, and maybe it'll like have its big tournament this next one. I mean, obviously it got second at Portland, but it's a very strong Pokemon on a variety of comps, and so I mean that's a good call. A lot of Glim in top 8. I definitely believe it.
Where
I just don't think enough people know the Meteor Beam Calcs on their Mons. Like that thing's a nuke.
Yeah, speaking of Calcs, Zom mentions one that it says it's a special attack that you can often Oko Fluttermane with. That is just insane.
I saw it one shot a Farigiraf too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we see that the 2. I'm looking. I finally got the Iron Crown stuff pulled up, but it looks like the 2, or second and third one, top 64 ones were the same as the Reggie Drago variants that did well. Shoot, I have too many tabs open. That did well at this
yeah,
one.
No,
so
here to interrupt you, Adi. What I was trying to point out was that Iron Crown did have 1 top 16 appearance, but then the next one is down at top 64. Somebody who did make day 2. I believe they are a Seattle local, but not any further than that. Like, just 2 of them, and so 4 in top 8 at the Victory Road tournament is pretty interesting to see. I was gonna say, is this Europe's fault? But let me go see actually where the countries that the players were representing. Cause there's like Japan.
Yeah, Japan. I think it was Spain.
But it looks like the Roberto version that is also the same thing that Mando used. Both are like the Reggie Drago variants. They're slightly different, but they do have they are very similar. They both have Reggie Drago, and that was the version that Kiwei used to get top 64 made day 2 at Portland. Obviously, I think they each have 1 mon different. Key has the Chi. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce their name. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but they have a Rillaboom, whereas Roberto has the Fire Pawn, and Alan has a Fluttermane. So they got 1 flex spot on what it looks like on this variant of the team that I should pull up, I guess. But it looks like very similar to the versions that did do well. They got 2 in top 64 Portland.
Yeah, they're just basically picking their giant special attacker. The top 4 ones, not to drag you back to those, but I think Chiyu paired with Indeedee Tornadus is just really well situated in the meta right now, and some people might not be cluing in on that.
Chi, good Pokemon. He's back with a vengeance after a disappointing Reggie.
Mm-hmm. I thought this was the standard variant because the one that I faced at Portland did have a Chiyu on it. Although this one, I guess they are a little bit different in that this one is Sash, this one is Citrus Berry, and presumably a little bulkier with Snarl, which is pretty cool. It is very interesting to see if people take advantage of Chiyu's defensive typing, which is honestly not the worst, all things considered.
It does have the same typing as Incineroar.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I want to take a quick moment to say something semi-random, but I feel like at least half or more of this top 8 just like posted their paste from whatever alt they were testing on. Zombie, you're included in this. Like, honestly, shoutouts to your GXE. 83 GXE is incredible, and the alt name is also fire. Like, Deodorant Suggester is a great alt. But like, yeah, why are like everyone just posting like the accounts that they were testing these teams on? Like, I was like
The new fad.
Right, look,
clicking
it's-
through.
Higher now, bro.
you can copy it, right? You can create a new Poke Paste and you can paste it, and you will get the exact same thing, but without.
There
giving
are
up the
ways.
all.
There are ways to do this smarter that don't like reveal your testing account, but you know, you guys do what you want. Maybe Zom wanted to flex because honestly, it's a flex worth flexing. I mean, that 83 GXE is incredible. Anyways,
Sure, it was higher at one point though.
I mean, I believe it.
Like I'm pretty sure he was like 86 GXE at one point.
Holy. If they can get 83 GXE once, they can do it again. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Just do it on a new one.
It's true. See, I can't reveal my alts because I have like a 75 GXE, and so it takes me twice as many games to climb back up.
No, I see. Nobody will ever catch me because what I did for Portland was I played so many games while on flights for like Christmas and what was the one before San Antonio?
Mm-hmm.
So many games testing for Portland on my one account that I DC'd like 30 sets, and so my GXE was in the 60s, and I'm just like, I was winning a lot. Like I was doing very well in testing, but my GXE was still just drowning, and I was like, everyone's just thinking this guy's lucky, he's dog shit. Like, they don't actually think it's a good team. This team does have a lot of spread moves. Yeah, spread moves strong. Yeah, that is true.
Mm-hmm. It is a scary team, and again, this is like, I think that as soon as you see Incineroar drop in usage, you're just gonna see size spam teams do this basically, right? Like this is part of why Incineroar is so good, is it is so oppressive to so many teams. Obviously, we had this discussion last time. Size spam can beat Incineroar. I'm sure they beat a bunch of Incineroar in top 16. It's not, but like it is the most useful tool that also has this like crazy amount of role consolidation that you can possibly fit against size spam, and it would not shock me at all to see people see these results, see size spam do well at Portland. Different variants of size spam obviously do well at Portland, and say maybe we should like put an Incineroar back on our team, and we do see the winner actually have the Incineroar on their team as well. Although that being said, we also saw the two Snarl Chiyu do very well on size spam teams, which also fills a very similar role, and like you mentioned, has the same defensive typing that is so good into these sort of size spam comps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, notably, Chiyu is immune to its own ability, so even the Tachyon Cutter isn't going to hurt too badly. Do any of you guys remember a player by the name Bad Intent? Yeah, Bad Intent was a
Travis, my goat.
a player from long ago. As far as I remember, one of the things Bad Intent was most known for was substitute Sandvale Bright Powder Guard.
I don't think that's not him. That was
No, that was Mango.
Oh, was that somebody else?
That was Mango Soul.
So this
Oh,
video,
Mango Soul. Dang it. Who's
Minaj.
Bad Intent then?
That Intent made that hyper offense video.
this video, and this is also a write up on Nugget Bridge, is like the basis of hyper offense teams. Obviously, we've learned a lot and evolved a lot in the last 8 years, but this is like he was the hyper offense player. He and like Alberto Lara back in the day, and he's just been and I think that like doing this guide and explaining how hyper offense works and the fundamentals of it has basically been the way that we discuss hyper offense ever since then, and the terminology and the way we talk about it is a lot of it comes from this article and this video. So yeah, absolutely know him.
Wait, I have a question for the chat. Is this the Vinny that was like super sick at Smash Bros? Because like I thought I knew you were friends with Omari.
Just to harp on Omari stories, he's also the player that brought Keyberry Zapdos to 2014 Worlds, thinking because he was tested on Showdown that it would proc the defense boost after the first hit of Parental Bonds, not both of them.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. I miss Kangaskhan.
Yeah,
I don't.
That's why I run Keyberry in this format, is so that I can get the defense boost after the first Surging Strikes hit.
That's smart.
Yeah. See,
They're huge. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
recommend all
I'm
your
a big-
viewers do that.
I'm a big fan of Omari. He was kind of like he had his best season like the first year I was, getting into VGC,
Mm-hmm.
and I think like the first regional I cut he also cut. So
That is lit. bringing it back to the VR tournament, there's not a lot of other teams in top 8 that we need to talk about because you can kind of knock out 4 of them at once when they're built so similarly.
Do we not want to spend half the episode talking about size spam?
No, only a quarter is enough. And so, yeah, Tiago Latan.
Yeah.
I almost said something that I didn't want to say.
Vovo Max Ben 10.
Yeah, the Vovo Max Ben 10, my ladder goat. You know,
okay.
I think that guy cursed me out on Showdown before.
No Moonblast on that flutter.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That's interesting. I actually kind of get it though, because I feel like Dazzling Gleam is really good into Pow Night, right? And that's like the main reason that's like so common, and you just really, really want to Dazzle Gleam that board, especially if you boost your speed, which, you know, I see when sort of implies. And so it does kind of make sense to drop a move for Dazzling Gleam. I've seen people drop Shadow Ball a lot more. Moonblast is really, really nice chunk damage, but I don't know. Like, it seems to have worked.
And yeah, other than that, like the archetype is just kind of good stuff built around. I mean, I guess Assault Vest on Raging Bolt's a bit uncommon, but
I want to talk about the Volk.
The archetypes.
That guy's not common.
Sure, Volk is also relatively uncommon. This one is a support set. Okay. Sure. Like the double redirection, I guess, is really cool for supporting strong offensive threats like Landorus and Urshifu. Those seem to be the 2 Pokemon that the team is leaning mostly into doing the damage with, whereas everything else is either damage control or redirection or speed control.
It's a very interesting Raging Bolt set as well. And multiple different ways of reducing your opponent's speed without running Tailwind, which is an interesting approach to speed control, I guess. I will say, I remember I ran a Volk like this in like Series 0 back in end of 2022, right, when we were just getting the format and we didn't know the rules, because it was so sick into Pow Night, and now here we are full circle. Pow Night's still the best team. And I think it's still kind of sick into Pow Night because it outspeeds, it gets Rage Powder off, and has Flame Body, chance to proc, and you can run enough defense investment that you live the E-Speed. So it is I assume that this is a similar set, and it has a spread move Struggle Bug too, so you can even break the Chen Pao Stash as well. So I think this is a pretty cool response to one of the more common metagame threats where all the other teams have had, except for Zom's team. Zom's team had double rock, right? And then the other teams had for Rigor for DD, and here we are with no like outright counter to Pow Night, but definitely a lot of respect for it with the Volcarona, with the Dazzling Gleam Fluttermane.
Yeah, Otta, you just like still have that Volcarona set pinned in your building channel of all.
Do I?
Like,
oh yeah, I had a Rocky helmet on it too. That was so, dude. It was literally Terra Dragon.
Otta was ahead of the time.
This is from November 2022.
11
That's crazy.
He just still has it pinned. Donald said pin that, and he's like, okay. It's still pinned. Anyways, I wanted to talk about Maddie's team, not in depth because we've seen teams like this, but just seeing a bit of a comeback from it. I do think that this is still a very real team. The Incin, Amoonguss, Arcanine, Rain stuff is just like very... I've tested it a lot for Portland, and I found that it was a bit too all-in on the Arcanine, that the Mon felt like, I wanted to stack boost and not switch out, but I think the rest of the Mons do just, like, fit really well together. Scarf Ursh loves to be able to, pivot into an Incin or a Amoonguss. Those Pokemon can support Scarf Ursh and Specs Flutter very well. Pelipper, flying is still a typing that is just a menace in the format. We're maybe seeing more rock types catch on, so maybe it won't be as oppressive, but flying is still very hard to resist. And so Pelipper is just very good for that. This one doesn't even have Weather Ball, which is interesting. No water move there, but Urshifu kind of makes up for that.
One stat I actually do know about this team, it's less about the Arcanine and more about Incineroar, Amoonguss teams, just teams with both of them. Didn't have like a great, like there were a couple in top 64 and I think one in top 32, and it's definitely not any player I would have guessed to rep these two. at Portland.
Oh, right. I know Gary.
Gary, yeah. But yeah, that combination, like, they're really good with Flutter, but they're almost like too passive for the meta at the moment.
It's very difficult into Water, Ogre Pond, and Inte, and that's common enough right now that it's, you're gonna have some issues getting through a tournament with it.
Sorry, my bad. Oops.
Not even your fault, man. I was complaining about that before Portland.
Yeah, let's talk about the team that got 24th in this tournament.
In this tournament?
Yeah, NVR.
Okay, all right. Let's do it. 24th.
Hey, 24th still giant turn. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Yeah.
Candy. The last place team. We got.
I do believe this person tagged me on Twitter, so congrats on the run. But I don't really have anything else to say about it.
They got drafted to NPA. Just saying.
Okay. Oh hell yeah.
Yo, I want to say, Vinny, thank you for the sub, and J-Chem Burkhard, thank you for the sub as well. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so I guess, so for what it's worth, just because these are the players who made it through top cut doesn't mean these are the necessarily, like, they did go 7-2. Some of these players did go 8-1. And so I do think it's important to look at the other teams that did well over the course of 9 rounds of Swiss, and not just who managed to win the single elim rounds. And so we do see a few other teams that I think you've probably seen around that maybe haven't gotten the full amount of recognition. I don't really want to talk about the Arcaludon team that got 9th because it is kind of the same old. In this case, Arcaludon teams, it seems like either get to pick between Pelipper and Tornadus, and we saw Maddie pick Pelipper and do very well with it. This one having Manual Rain, but Tornadus, I am less impressed, and I'm generally less scared of this variant because the Torn has to click Radiance for the Arcaludon to be a Pokemon, or to be especially effective Pokemon. And so I personally find this variant less scary, but this player did go 8-1 in day 1, and then make it all the way through to top 16. So won at least one round in day 2 as well. So any thoughts over here?
That's one of my Monarchs, Daniel Rocha. He's Bruno on Smogon.
Oh,
he actually
nice.
he started 8-0 in Swiss, and he lost a very coin flippy matchup to Spam. So he had a really sick run. He beat both Marco and Vovomax in Swiss. So taking sets off of big names like that, it's pretty huge.
Well, Adi, you did say the Pelipper versions are a little more threatening to you. But if you look at that, this Arcaludon is also, it's Snarl and Breaking Swipe. So it's a lot more supportive for the rest of the pieces. It can be less about what Alex was saying on getting those boosts on it, which is definitely an interesting way to run it on a team. Showing how flexible, even though all of them are Assault Vest, Stamina, that the Mon can be for different kinds of teams.
I will say, yes, that's true. I am so much less scared of Arcaludon clicking Breaking Swipe and Snarl than I am.
I'm not
Electroshot.
Frankly.
I can deal with Breaking Swipe. I don't have a problem with that. Just like I don't have a problem with Gouging Fire. But yeah. So another Arcaludon team. But that being said, Arcaludon did not do well at Portland. I think there were a couple in day 2, but overall, yeah, there were okay. Actually, there were 4 in day 2. That's more than I remember. But none of them converting, and the highest one getting top 16. And so, not a Pokemon. And some of these guys I remember having really weird sets. Right? We saw one Leftovers Arcaludon. I remember looking at that one earlier. So it is cool to see Arcaludon do so well in this tournament. Definitely a threat that we probably shouldn't disrespect. We see Brady down here. Also, I think using the same team as Maddie, or a similar team to Maddie, also getting top 16 with Arcaludon. So, and I thought there was one more too. I guess not. But 3 Arcaludon in 24 teams is still very, very scary, and it's just a reminder that, yeah, this guy's still around. And then I guess
I got a comment in the chat asking us to talk about the Splatty Daddy team.
Yeah, okay. We can skip down to the Splatty Dad team. I was going to get to it for sure. I was going to say we have Julio, but I think we talked about Julio's team a couple of weeks ago. I don't think he's changed it since then. Let's go skip down to Splatty Daddy with So Splatty Daddy, if you didn't know, my personal goat used he did a team report with me on in Players Cup 3, I think, and they beat Rakov in top 16 before losing out in top 12 with like a wild team and just consistently top cuts these online tours with just like crazy stuff. So here we see Grim Insin, the classic 2022 lead, running it all the way back, along with the Annihilate, set up Gudra with Life Dew, Ogre Pond Wellspring, because you have to have one, and then also a setup Ladia. So triple setup with Incineroar, Grim Snarl. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it looks like a team. I've played Splatty Daddy a number of times on the ladder, and honestly, the one thing I gotta commend him is for sticking to it. He's been using variations of this stuff for like all throughout. I'm pretty sure Regulation E and Regulation D, and the one of the funniest things about this is the Cloak Gudra. I don't know what that's for, but it's there.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess Gudra is a lot less susceptible to fake out cycling when you have a covert cloak, right? You don't really care about getting intimidated and stuff. So maybe that's the reason.
But yeah, other than that, the team is wild out there. Another cool team in the
Sacred Fire. That's a good reason. Okay. So you want to sit on field for a while, you don't want to get burned, you can run a covert cloak. That makes sense.
I was just wondering if he was worried about like Garganackle or something. Like, I know it's been a while, but he's hiding out there somewhere.
Poor Garg.
Notably, this Gudra does not have a Terra type. Just did not run a Terra on Gudra.
I'm assuming that's an error.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and move on to talking about. I think Yanagi's team was also really cool. Somebody in the chat asked about it.
Where's that? Which place?
Yeah, it's the Torkoal one, the Torkoal team, and I think Yanagi might have ran something similar at Worlds, and yeah, but now it's got the Incineroar, obviously.
Which one? Oh, here it is. Okay, Yosuke Takuya. Okay,
Yosuke. Yeah. Sorry, Yosuke.
Gotcha. Oh, so we got another take on Crestbear. I mean, we saw Gary do very well with it at Portland, and lost his winning in on a disconnect from his Switch, so kind of his fault. But and we saw him lose on stream.
I think this guy cut Worlds too with like Torkoal Crestbear.
I think so. I recognize the name.
Believe so.
He has
Look at the Amoonguss, bro. The Amoonguss.
Yeah, he had the Amoonguss. No Rage Powder.
This is hype. Honestly,
That's the same set he used at Worlds too. I'm pretty sure.
This is just sick. This is so much of this stuff is crazy. Yeah, no, I just agree with all of this. Not really going to elaborate, but I think this team is justified.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Rage Powder is bait. You never click Rage Powder anyway. So always click Spore.
No, I think the main thing that I like about this, and I said this when we talked about it from Worlds, is that Cresselia Amoonguss is a viable lead to get up Trick Room if you're not just like stuck clicking like Rage Powder. I think it had Rage Powder before. I swear it. Maybe it didn't.
Bro.
I don't know. Basically, I like that the Amoonguss is willing to go on the offensive on this team, so that if you do get up Trick Room, with that lead, you're not in a bad spot. Of course, you're not really Rage Powdering. I don't know when the Amoonguss is coming in, and it's a confusing team, and I'd love to see it in action. That's all I've got to say.
The important thing is that they can't double tap the Cresselia and also double tap the Amoonguss. And so you're always getting a Spore off or a Trick Room off, right?
Yeah.
So it is really hard. And then you've also just got the ability just to switch out the Cresselia, and they have to pick what to prioritize. And if they call it wrong, they might lose. And also, even if they call it right and you just click Trick Room Spore, you might just win anyways. So very threatening.
Yeah.
Okay.
That team was very cool, and I mean, honestly, just in general, Japan really came out for this one. There's a number of Japanese players in day two, or not day. I guess was it a 2-day tournament? It might have been. I
It
think
was.
it
Yeah.
was.
It was top cut day 2, but
Yeah.
the
Um,
single elim part. But Japanese players are super willing to stay up for these, which is super cool. Because I do not have the patience to stay up all night playing Pokemon.
Stay up, wake up. I don't know what is the time zone for
It's
them.
stay up, or no,
East.
it's wake up. I think
For
they
for
get up
this
to like.
tournament, it was wake up for Alex.
True. True.
Oh
True.
yeah,
True.
for this
So
tournament,
this
it's stay
was
up.
stay
So
up
it would have
for
started. It
Japan.
started like 11 p.m. for them.
Oh, okay. So yeah, late night. Dang. I did that once to play in a Japanese tournament. Stayed up till like started streaming a tournament at like 11 back when like Scarlet and Violet just came out.
Yeah,
Um,
I did that for.
remember
For
I do
that.
want to
a
say
3-day.
while we're on the subject, like of the tournament structure, I really would like to see Victory Road do 2-day Swiss tournaments because that would make like the second day a lot more exciting.
Hmm.
I mean, they have to get the numbers for it, right? What are the
This
numbers?
this did technically have the
No,
numbers
it's
for a
just over
2-day Swiss
200.
tournament.
Yeah.
227.
I mean, if you have the number to play 9 rounds, you have the number to play to do day 2 Swiss.
Got it.
Just they don't do it because Battlefy doesn't support it, but I'm pretty sure if a client as big as Victory Road told Battlefy, hey, can you implement this, I'm sure they'd do
Do
it.
they have like a partnership with Battlefy?
They might. I mean,
I'm pretty sure they have something. Yeah.
Okay. Because
Battlefy makes like, I'm sure they make a lot of money off of the entry fees from VR tournaments.
as soon as I heard it was on Battlefy and not Limitless, I was like, man, this is gonna be so much less fun to look at. Like Limitless
Yeah.
just has all the tools. Like
So-
it's just I can look at every team.
But I
their
don't think we have an
schedules.
idea of when Limitless will have like a way to do paid entry for tournaments. So
That's
it makes
the main
sense
thing.
to use Battle.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if they're ever gonna do that.
that's fair. That's fair. I didn't consider that.
If they did that, they might get shut down by Pokemon.
Mm.
Limitless is. I will say the one thing that I really don't like here is that we get to see the top teams. It's very cool. I am a sucker for stats, as everyone knows, and so I wish I could see every single team that every single player used and see stuff like conversion rates, right? Because we see a lot of Side Spam in top 8 and then not a lot for the rest of it. How did Side Spam do? How did Incineroar do? We see a lot of Incineroar, but it is a pretty high usage Pokemon.
Where's the metagame tab?
Like, how did we see two Glamora, and Zom was saying Glamora is the call. Two Glamora is a lot, but is that, did it actually do well? Did it do poorly? Where's all the Glimdozo, and why are all the Glamora running not on Dozo anymore? Like stuff like that.
I mean, we technically do have some usage if you scroll down.
Yeah, it just has like the mod
Oh.
usage stats for day 1 and day 2,
That's
which is
still
like
something.
decent. Yep.
Yeah.
So actually, I mean, some of the Pokemon that I guess stand out to me again, Urshifu Single Strike popping off after having a not top 12 in usage. For Rigorath, also not top 12 in usage, but only 3 made cut, which is actually a lot less, despite it doing pretty well, obviously winning the entire tournament. So similar conversion rate to what we saw in Portland, but this time doing a little better in top cut. Glamora, same, only 2 in day 2, so but way higher usage than I thought. 18th in usage is higher than I thought it would be. And Psyspan probably having the highest conversion rate from what I could, or Iron Crown at least, with only 21 people bringing it, but 4 people making it to top cut is pretty, and then all those people converting at least 2 rounds is very, very
The
impressive.
wild ones are Golden Go and Gouging Fire at the high usage, and then none making it to the next day.
Dozo.
And Dondozo is 30th. Yep.
I am not surprised that Gouging Fire, it does not have any conversions. I think that mon is bad. I'm sorry. I see it all the time on ladder. I have not lost to it on ladder yet. I know exactly what people are trying to do with it, and I just think it's a mediocre Pokemon. I'm sorry.
You haven't faced my Gouging Fire set yet, all right? You haven't seen. They're not doing it right. Hey, just wait a moment.
They don't click Breaking Swipe How like I click Breaking Swipe How. I just click it differently.
Also, I will not let the Dozo players sneak their way into Charlotte. Don't go to Charlotte without a Dozo matchup just because, like, oh wow, they didn't have any appearances in the VR tournament. Like, just don't. Like, Dozo's always going to be there. It's always going to be used by some top players, and even if you're my friend, I hate seeing Dozo do well. It depresses me. So I'm sorry, but please
Depresses you
learn.
when your friends do well too.
It depresses me when my friends do well, but it especially depresses me when my friends do well with Dondozo. So please bring your Dondozo counters
Hey,
to
Al,
Charlotte.
I really like your team, but I think I'm gonna play Glim Dondozo instead at Charlotte.
Unfortunate. I hope I don't see you in finals.
The Pokemon with maybe the highest conversion rate was actually Amoonguss. Amoonguss had 9 in day 2 after only 18% usage in day 1, which is pretty crazy. If you used Amoonguss, you had like a 1 in 5 chance of making it to day 2, which is higher. 20% conversion rate is pretty
I'll
high.
take those odds.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I forgot that tournaments aren't about us playing them, and then you just roll the dice when you submit your team. If you used Amoonguss, you have a 1 in 5 chance of making cut. It's like, oh, cool, let's find out.
If you used
Roll the dice.
if you used Alex's team at Portland, you had a 2 in 5 chance of making top cut, and I just low rolls.
Damn, that's unfortunate. I just forgot that when you submitted your team on Arcanine, it just spits out the result. 6-3. Damn.
It's like the item printing machine in Pokemon in the DLC.
Yep.
You put in your $70 and see what you get out.
Yeah, it's all scripted, unfortunately. I just finally got my time for the main role. Anyways, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to say about the Victory Road tournament. We do have a couple other Limitless tournaments that we could, fire through really quickly. Some were bigger than others, and so we won't spend, a ton of time talking about them. But
I'd say if
Go
there's
ahead.
like teams that you want to talk about, like point them out. But I don't want to talk about every single team just because.
Ooh, Adi, give me your thoughts on the team that won Melody Masters Tour, number $300 first place prize.
Melody Masters Force number 3? Oh my god. Okay, so here is the Gouching Fire team. I mean, this is the Gouching Fire set. And I think that for what it's worth, I think this team does a pretty good job of solving the problems that it has with it, which is that it is so weak to Urshifu. They just hit through it. You don't actually kill the Urshifu a lot of times, so you do have the Gastrodon here that makes it a lot easier. And the King Gambit is also very, very good as a partner because you don't get intimidated, right? So I think that this makes sense. The problem is, I think that if your concept requires you to put Gastrodon on the team, we have enough tools to deal with Urshifu at this point, and you're putting your Rillaboom and your Gastrodon on the team just to deal with it. Like, I think it's just a low power level. And so I don't know. I don't think this is a.
Well, that's why you click Howl. Then you're
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah.
It did beat your boy Arsel in cut.
Did it?
You had a team
No.
Did Arsel and cut? I didn't even Arsel. Oh, here's Arsel. He used Tinkaton, man. Yeah, speaking of low power level, he used a Pokemon with a 380 base stat total. Okay.
Was this like a Series 6 style tournament?
Yeah, it was. The top 10 were banned, unfortunately.
But yeah, no, I mean, if you're going to use Gouging Fire, I think you have to use it with King Gambit. I think that's the right way to use it. And then I don't know about the rest of the team, but it seems solid, right? Like, I think ESM on his team report after Sacramento said the best thing you can do with Howl was click it next to Rillaboom. That was one of the things that a lot of offensive teams can't deal with. I don't know if that's true anymore, but, concept might still apply. Any other teams
I'm
we want to
looking
talk about here?
through. Ooh, dude,
I just see
there's
a
a word.
Primarina one. The name of this tournament is Charlotte Regionals Tournament. That's true.
VGC
Wait, hold on. Let me go to the details page. This is VGC Trainer School. That's what it is.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
why
Trainer
it's titled VGC 24 Charlotte Regionals Tournament.
Are we?
It was
This
their
was the
Prepare
VG
for Charlotte event.
It was.
Well, congrats to Glenn 0507 for winning Charlotte.
Yeah.
For winning the Charlotte
Spoiler.
Regionals tournament, So Primarina, leftovers, no Combine, just leftovers with Hyper Voice, Wind Blast, Ice Beam. Very interesting set.
I could support it. Honestly, I think Thatmon's a bit of a standout, but Choice Band Metagross, we've already got a King Gambit, but we have room for another Steel type. We can make it work.
Yeah.
And Choice Band Metagross finds his way on the team. I gotta imagine those heavy slams are hitting like a truck. The Pokemon does just weigh a ton, and so that's just really hype to just have like a 120 base power stab on everything that's Choice Band boosted.
Mm-hmm.
And then Protect on Incineroar. Yeah, I guess you're not really pivoting as much with this style team with like the Assault Vest Gambit, you could, but
No, it definitely looks like a team that could pivot. I do find that very surprising, and I'm glad that you pointed out that the mod does have Protect. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I agree with it or not, but it's interesting to see Protect Instant take a dub.
Yeah. And then I guess we could talk about the other tournament because we have the top 4 competitor, I think, in the chat right now.
True.
listen, this
Wait,
tournament
Joe?
was a mess. This tournament was a mess. All right, it was best of 1 Swiss. This one, it started at 10 p.m. for me. I was like, yeah, let's test out this fun team. That what is it? Swamp VGC tweeted out that he used in the midseason. I'm like, ayo, let me try this in this best of 1 tournament. And then cut to 2 a.m. is like me, Joe, Jody, all in cut, talking to each other, being like, why are we still here? Why are we waiting for these matches? Because there were like buys and cut because it was a hard X2 cut. So I feel like some people were just dropping like flies because of the time and whatnot. But I had fun clicking buns with Blood Moon. Like it's definitely a flavor of the month or week thing with all the priority spam coming thanks to Alex. So Furrigraph seemed to be like everywhere in some of these tournaments.
The fact that like you guys are all on the East Coast and I like get into bed at like midnight to open up Twitch just to see what's happening and Jody's streaming and I'm like, Jody, why are you streaming right now? And he's like, I'm still in this tournament, man. Get me out of here.
So it was late enough that I didn't realize this until someone brought it up in Jody's chat. But me and the creator of the team, we were rocking a Stomping Tantrum on Rillaboom. It's since been fixed, but you know, I did think it was like hitting that golden go a little less hard than usual. But...
It's
it
just
works out.
It's a punish for when they fake you out, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't happen, but yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, and
thank God when you have your Rillaboom for Furrigraph on the field.
That's the only other thing I'll say about my team is Rocco Grapon's kind of neat.
You're not going to mention the Galarian Zapdos?
Nope.
Okay.
He's keeping that under wraps.
I one shot in Iron Hands with it. That's all I'll say.
That's cool.
Whoa! That's pretty nice. Holy.
Just saying, watch out for make sure you have a GZAP matchup at Charlotte.
True. Honestly, yeah. If you guys lose to Caleb and his GZAP, what the heck?
Oh, hey, Stomping Tantrum boost if you Grassy Glide into a Furrigraph.
That's true. Wait a minute. It's actually for the mirror. Genius.
Ironically,
yep.
Huge.
Yeah, that way you could Stomping Tantrum the Furrigraph. Let's see. I don't know. I guess I don't know if there's anything else super interesting here. I mean, there's a P2 that made D2 or that made top 8, which is a Pokemon that didn't really do very well at Portland despite being hyped up. So I know Justin was talking up P2. Do you have any thoughts about this team?
I wasn't hyping it up before Portland. I do think the Terra Poison set's really cool. You get a Terra Blast that can work off of either download boost, and like if you get your attack download boost, you can actually chunk Fluttermane pretty hard. It's pretty neat. I just think I think there's like a few, like it kind of struggles into the Blood Moon. It's hard to tell if like, I don't know. Sometimes it's like you can hit the Blood Moon with Ice Beam, but also like if it hits you first, you're kind of screwed. So it's kind of a tricky mod to play with, but I think it's pretty solid. And I was like just running calcs, and it still like tanks a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So it is cool to see one do well, even though it has not really been as present as I think a lot of us expected it to be in the metagame. I don't know. I'm looking through these teams. I guess the other tournament that happened that I don't think we had talked about was the Tommy Tuesday. That's normally one of the bigger ones that happens right after Tub Take, so we never get to talk about it.
True.
What day was that? 10th? 9th?
Too far in the past.
Tuesday?
Maybe on Tuesday.
Yeah, there we go. 185
I know
players.
the big yearly one was Wednesday, and it threw me off. But
all right, we do have to look at the team that went 11-0 in the 135-player tournament. That one is... Okay, I've looked at it. It's boring.
Yep.
Any thoughts?
Hold on,
I beat like 3 of these at Portland.
and yeah, wow. There's 6 Pokemon here. I will still say, like, I'm gonna keep saying it. I think Calm Mind Raging Bolt is bad. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I just don't like it.
I think there's like a third of the metagame that can't really break it well, that it just runs over, but then the other 2/3 are like, I wish I was a different set.
I can see that. So maybe you're just using it for a more of a matchup tech instead of a general utility mon.
Yeah.
I can see it. Right. Especially since you've got your main sweepers are Landorus and Fluttermane, and those guys are relatively frail but relatively fast, and so it's nice to have a slower, bulkier setup guy. I can see that making sense.
Mm-hmm.
But and then the other team that I'm noticing here that looks especially cool is there's 2 of them. There's the Dragapult team, and then there's the Comfey Annihilate team, and I'm gonna click on one at a time. But let's start with the Dragapult, and then we can go to Comfey Annihilate. Go.
Wait a minute. I'm looking at the Comfy Annihilate.
Fine.
No, save that for later. Oh, okay.
Okay. I still got the Dragapult up just because I think that Palt Pow, we saw Michael Derbesti get second in Worlds with it. Mm-hmm. So it's been here and there. I know Inosh made day 2 with it as well at San Antonio Regional. So again, it's been hanging around on the fringes of the metagame. But it's cool to see it do well again. I've seen it on ladder a couple times here and there. But this time, yeah, really, really needs help against, I think, all the priority is the main thing. And so having a Ferrograph does make sense here. But unlike a lot of the other Ferrograph teams, does not seem to have a Trick Room mode. So I guess it's cool to see this sort of concept do well. I definitely think this is still something that has a lot of potential to be well, depending on how the metagame shakes up. I think that Palt can always be well positioned at times. All right. Let's hear the Compe Greninja Annihilate spiel. What do you want to say, Alex?
This Greninja.
Dude.
No, so I was looking at this last week. I was like, oh shoot, like is Water Shuriken Loaded Dice just better than Beat Up?
Is it?
I mean, it does more damage to yourself, admittedly.
Yeah,
you can run it with Scarf.
But you can't. I think that's the fun part is you could run that with Scarf Annihilate.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't just have the Annihilate. They also can Water Shuriken their own Archaludon. Mm-hmm. Which I think is very funny.
Well, the big thing is it can be boosted to +5 versus like +4 from a Beat Up.
I gotta say, I think we ran maybe on versions of our comfy stuff back in like the Dynamax days. Audie, we had Safeguard on the set.
Yep.
I don't know. At some point, I thought maybe
we did.
Okay. But this has Worry Seed on goggles, which I think is hype because it's just like, all right, I don't want to deal with Amoonguss like for the rest of the game. I'm setting up my Annihilate or my Archaludon like to just sit there forever and spam Floral Healing into it. But also, I don't want to have to spend a turn clicking Safeguard like after the Amoonguss switches in and maybe again later if it goes past 5 turns. Like, let's just get this done.
That's
Worry
cool.
Seed.
I'm gonna Will-O-Wisp your Annihilate then. I'm gonna Will-O-Wisp your Archaludon. So it can't body press me. Right.
I mean, nobody runs Will-O-Wisp anyway, bro. Weezing got canceled, and what else is running it? You're not gonna Will-O-Wisp me. You're gonna Sacred Fire me.
Some gouging fire.
You're gonna Sacred Fire me is what's gonna happen.
That's true.
Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of funny stuff on this team. I gotta admit, and yeah, I wonder how much damage like Protean, not Protean, but a Loaded Dice Water Shuriken can do in rain. Like, not to your own mons, but to your opponents. Like, can it take out Qianpao? Probably. That's cool.
Wait, who let Arsenal cut this tour too? Man, Arsenal, I did not know he was on the grind as much as he was. This time he's on Grim Instant, like we were saying earlier. He was telling me that he really liked Grim Instant. I'm not a believer.
Arsenal's not going to Charlotte though, right?
No, he did well at San Antonio, and he was like, yeah, I'm so motivated. I'm going to book a regional. When's the next regional? It's like, yeah, you can come to Portland, or you can come to Charlotte. Charlotte's a lot cheaper, but Portland's a cooler city. And he didn't book either. And so we'll see.
Nice.
We'll see. I'll see if I can drag him to Orlando or Los Angeles or something. But otherwise.
Last year, right?
What?
He went to Orlando last year, right?
He did go to Orlando last year, yeah. So I might. I'm not sure if I'm going to Orlando, to be honest, but we'll see. We'll try to get him out there. Otherwise, he'll definitely be going to Nats, and so prep him for that at the very least.
Dude, I gotta say, hello, Vinny. I've been really appreciating you in the chat because all of your like references to Mons and stuff is like from like 10 plus years ago. It's been awesome. Like you're just like, where's Jellison? I'm like, dude, Jellison was barely good in 15 and like it hasn't had a moment since.
No, it got top 4 at the first 2020 regional. And then never saw light of day again.
Okay.
Wait, Jellison? I thought it won.
Did it?
Because Trailer had it.
Oh, he did win. Actually,
Did Trailer have Jellison? I don't think he did.
He did have Jellison because I attacked into it and it was the Ghost Berry and I should have used Max Lightning.
Dang. CTS cheese.
He had it on like a team that was not based around it. The guy who got top 4 at the first European regional had Surf Spam with Jellison Gastro.
Yeah, the Surf Spam Jellison in the early days of Sword and Shield was hype. But also talking about Hitmontop, like Hitmontop also hasn't been a thing since Wolf on Worlds. Like,
I do want to.
No, he's right about Magmar though.
Magmar's
back at it.
Magmar's got followed me again. And here.
I do want to say
the best Magmar.
This is definitely like the top takes to be making old head references because the guests are me and Caleb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you had like. I think if
Sempra
you had like
and
Sempra or Justin Tang on there, they'd be like, "What's a Hitmontop?"
Yeah. I forgot that James Evans had that Hitmontop team in Sword and Shield at some point, like side bullet punching weakness policy Togekiss and.
He had it in Series 2.
Yeah, I mean, like, how good is it if you're losing to Caleb Breyer's Whimsicott Arc-9?
LMAO, what is this?
Correct. We were talking the other day, like, when we were prepping for Dallas, we were like, we got to watch out for the Caleb's beat-up team.
Yeah, true.
Listen, I try to get some people together to help me break Whimsicott, but I think Whimsicott broke itself this format. I've been trying to get it working, but I don't believe in it anymore. It's so sad.
I think it's Whimsicott's a closed team sheet merchant.
This is very true.
Do you guys know Hitmontop won a regional in 2020?
I did not know that.
It won an Australian regional.
Well, you have to leave.
You should have said Australian. We don't count those.
Yeah.
No, I would never. I also forgot that James Evans was using it in 2019 as well on his Torn King Zerndon team. He got a couple of regionals with that too. So I guess it's been around. It has objectively gotten results since like in Gen 7. Gen 7 and Gen 8.
Talking about Rotom, Megavenu. We got a lot of throwbacks.
Post-COVID, I don't know. Hitmontop might have passed during the pandemic.
Rotom Wash was really good in the.
No, Hitmontop got COVID.
I saw Rotom Wash in one of the Blaziken raids that I did earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that does make sense. That is the guy. That is where it's useful. So.
Yeah, Jimmy, if you can tell me what the new top Pokemon is, I'm down because we do have the new Ogre. Not that Kyogre has ever been bad; it's just not legal. But we have, new Ogre. What's the new like? Is there a Pokemon that has top in the name?
Regidrago's the new water spout guy.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Yeah, I don't think we have a single legal
Kabutops.
water spout Pokemon.
Kabutops?
Dude, I think Kabutops is not legal.
Yeah.
Which is tough.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Chris, I cut a regional just a month ago with Cresselia, Heatran, Lando, so they're not all gone.
That's true. Dragonite, everyone's favorite old Pokemon is still around and kicking.
He's been here since day one.
Too. Yeah.
Imagine showing someone this team in 2015. They could never imagine it. What's that Raikou doing? Where's my
that Raikou looks funny.
Quick cut back to Greninja earlier, Alex. I did the calc. Modest 5-hit only has a 6.3% chance.
Wait.
Hold on, kill him. Did I cut him off? Or did he say the answer?
I heard the answer.
No, Caleb. We have a whole
Damn,
segment
my
at the
bad.
end called "The Calc is Right."
I forgot.
And Caleb,
Caleb,
What's
come
calling yourself?
on.
All right. Speaking
I was
of,
getting antsy.
do we want to? I don't know if there's any there's really any other tournament results I want to talk about. But
No,
I guess we
let's
can
go ahead
move
and
on
wrap this up, or not wrap it up, but let's move on to the Charlotte preview.
to the
well,
Charlotte.
wait, hang on. One more thing. They did announce 2 new Brazilian regionals, I think.
Oh, good
Oh, we
call.
did totally forget that. I put that in the Tub TV channel, but I forgot to
Is that
include
the
it in
link?
the doc. Thank you.
Is that
It's the
Victory
link,
Road
yeah.
link?
No.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna click on this random Victory Road link, see where it takes me. Go. Oh, it's not going. Here we go. Yeah, so there are 3 new regionals in LATAM, 2 in Brazil that have dates, and then 1 in Santiago, Chile that does not. The dates have not been announced yet. So I'm glad they're still adding regionals to the calendar, especially in LATAM, because I don't think they had very many at all. Still waiting on the Mexican regional that I can go to. I think that I don't think there's been a single one that's been north of South America. So we'll see. Hopefully it's not a Puerto Rico type situation like last year where it decides the day 2 race a week before NAIC. But we'll see. I'm glad they're still adding these. And if you are in South America, you should definitely try to attend.
Puerto Rico is a North American event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess technically, yeah, it was a North American event, but
Counted it, yeah. They said it was an NPA circuit event.
But like, yeah, but the they really only announce these sort of like last minute special events and regionals in LATAM, right? And so it was very reminiscent of how they've been doing that. And so it would not shock me if they were like, hey, a week before NAIC, there's a Mexico City regional. Who wants to get their travel award? You know, who wants to make that last minute push for day 2? But yeah, so I'm hoping that we get more LATAM events because they've got such a great player base and just have such an inability to actually get to Worlds when they don't have events, especially with these big prize payouts, right? Like the $6,000 for winning means that a lot of times we used to see the winners of these LATAM regionals not go to Worlds because it was prohibitively expensive to get to Japan or get to London, and the prize money that you get from those smaller 100-player events was not really enough to justify going. But now with the guaranteed 6K on the line, I think we're going to see a lot higher attendance, and we're going to see some of the more of the top LATAM players be able to attend the World Championships.
Well, all right. Team Rocket Elite brings up a good point where this is COPAG events, so maybe they won't see the money in time to use it to pay to go to Worlds. But
I hope
one
that
can hope.
I really hope that they get that the TPC or TPCI and COPAG gets their shit together and starts paying out in a timely manner, because that is just absurd.
I think they did pay out LAIC though.
Maybe finally. I think they sent out like an email saying like, we're on it.
I
don't know actually for sure.
I saw
I think people
Renzo
got paid.
and Paul Ruiz both tweeted saying that like they used their zip code instead of their bank account number and didn't get paid, and now they got to go through another process. So it's just such a shit show.
Yeah. It just seems like those events may be ones that you want to avoid if you can afford to. You know, if they're the events in your region, then that's what you're stuck with, unfortunately. But
so I don't think that the events that were hosted in Mexico were run by COPAG. I know COPAG mostly runs the Brazilian events that includes the LAIC. So I don't know about the Chilean event, for example, or the other regionals around South America. But I got to imagine that many Mexican events would not be held by COPAG. Maybe the arrangement that that Play Pokemon has with them is a little different, has changed since the pandemic. But I don't know. But yeah, let's talk about the next regional on the docket, which is Charlotte Regionals this upcoming weekend, Charlotte, North Carolina. So far, at the moment, 864 Masters registered, which is currently would make it the biggest regional ever. I think Orlando 2023 was the biggest regional in the past, and that was about 780 something, if I recall correctly. So it does depend on how many people don't show. I think Orlando.
I'm not buying the hype. It's gonna fizzle.
That's the problem. Is that
There's like a TOs. They're hoping for 800 people seated. So
for what it's
maybe.
worth, if you don't show up but you submit your team sheet, you do count towards the number of people, and 800 is the kicker for 6 rounds of Day 2 Swiss, and maybe more championship points for first. Actually, I don't think that's true. I think it's just 6 rounds of Day 2 Swiss is the main kicker.
Yeah.
And so it would be cool to see that, because otherwise it's going to be a very resistance based top cut potentially. But it would be cool to see over 780, which would make it the biggest regional ever, at the very least. I think that TCG Seniors is very close to getting Day 2 Swiss, which might be a first as well. So yeah,
That's crazy.
It's going to be massive on both sides.
I'm loving that this thing is so big, though. That's just so incredibly hype. It's going to be an awesome Saturday for me to sit on my couch and watch you guys game.
Yeah,
Game your hearts out.
So I guess a couple things. Overload Events has been really good about tweeting things out. So one thing that this is new too. This is a regionals kit, of course, not VGC related. This does have VGC stuff, but a lot of this stuff is TCG. Bring your toothpaste, guys. Don't forget. Bring your inhalers. Don't forget. The important thing that I wanted to show off was the lunch break, because they announced who is having a lunch break and who does not. None of this showing up to the venue unsure if whether or not you should bring enough snacks to eat in between rounds, or whether you should just assume they're going to have a lunch break. No, they have said no lunch break for VGC Masters, and juniors and seniors will have lunch breaks. And they also have a list of some of the food options. I believe these are the same as last year's Charlotte Regionals. These are just the restaurants that are in the convention center itself, but there are apparently a couple food halls nearby as well. And so it is cool that they are letting us all know ahead of time that there's no lunch break and what we can expect to be eating.
Without delving too much into it, because I feel like we've had the lunch break discussion a number of times on Tub Takes, just thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you pro or against lunch break? I am against lunch break.
I am pro lunch break. I see Justin saying he's pro lunch break as well.
Dang, we got an even split, but I side with Caleb. I feel like I'm the one that lost this.
Okay, now. It like the fact that you have to leave, get food, and then come back, and there's like just the longer waiting times. Like I feel like waiting times between rounds could definitely even be shorter if things could get optimized, and then we get out earlier for good times for like bigger like meals like dinner and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about for a number of people saying like it breaks their momentum or focus or whatever. Like I can do both. I mostly just want to be out of the venue at an earlier time, and so like having the break in the middle means that you don't finish gaming until 9 p.m. or whatever. We've seen some brutally long tournaments earlier last year, like Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando kicking people out of the venue that were waiting on people getting ready for cut and whatnot.
Yeah.
Or
it's just
being in cut and waiting until past midnight before we could leave the venue.
It was basically like that. Yeah.
I remember being in a part of tournaments that ended close to midnight that didn't even have a lunch break. I'm like, just get good, eat your lunch.
Yeah. To be fair, like there are factors that aren't the lunch break that are pushing tournaments late, and sometimes you just gotta. Like, just let Mike Waitala run every event. That guy's the goat. But anyways,
okay.
Yeah, moving on from lunch break.
Charlotte is such a party city. I'm trying to be done by 8. Is it a party city? I didn't know that.
How wants to know where's the party at?
Where's the party at? Hit me up. And secondly, if it's a party city, then I hope things aren't starting at 8. That doesn't sound like a party city to me.
Audie's gonna go find that.
Oh, okay. It's because it's a college city.
No, it's not.
Fair.
The three biggest colleges in North Carolina are all on the other side of North Carolina.
Oh, my bad. No, I was thinking about Knoxville.
Knoxville.
Oh no.
The volunteers do not know how to party. I'm sorry. Go Hogs, by the way.
All right, let's start talking about players.
I had one more thing I wanted to talk about for
side events.
Yeah, the side events. So they announced the side events, and yes, there are the standard championship point side events. Yeah, go play in your $30 midseason showdown, whatever. But they have VGC specific side events, and I really want people to try this out. So not only do they have Raid Challenge and Ogre Oustin, that's whatever. They have VGC Retro Random Battles. I don't know what exactly this is. I've seen random battles at events before, and I've seen retro formats at events before, but if this is like you get a random team from a past format, and you just play, that would be sick. Anything that involves past formats in general. Is that what it is?
Mhm.
That is
Howdy.
so sick. What's up?
You're not gonna go Ogre Alston with me?
I will. You know what? If we're both out on Sunday, maybe there's no. Sorry, dude. There's nothing on Sunday. You know, maybe if we're both knocked out by 4:30 on Saturday, we'll go over Austin. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm really excited for these VG retro random battles. I don't know if people.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anyone talk about it, so I encourage you to tell your friends and to try it out because this seems super super cool. And if
Audie,
you
I'm
have
gonna
the
need some
chance-
on the scene reporting. I'm not gonna be there, and this sounds so hype. It sounds so cool. Of course, rooting for my friends to do well. Secretly not rooting for my friends to do well. I hate to see my friends do well. But if you do end up out of the tournament early enough that you can play in one of these, that would just be so fun to see what it's all about.
Yes, I will be trying to play in these the all day Sunday if possible. If I don't make day 2, and if I make day 2 and I'm knocked out by 3 o'clock or whatever, I'll still play in the last couple. I do want to make a point to play in these, but if anyone has the chance to play in them on Friday, it gets in a little early and wants to tell us a little bit about what exactly it is, tweet about it. I definitely I'd signal boost that. I do want to hear exactly what they're trying to do for this because I just generally, one of the problems that I have with regionals is that they do not have VGC side events at all. The side events are all built for TCG, and so a lot of people who go and do poorly and go 1-3, 1-4 at the first event are just miserable, and they can't even drop and do something fun. They're just miserable. And people who go as spectators, who primarily like VGC, just never want to go to another event again because there's nothing to do. And so I'm just really glad they are trying new things that aren't just current format VGC. And I'm really, really excited to see this. Some of the most fun I've had at events is playing in retro side events at Dallas 2019. So I'm glad to bring that back.
Yeah, side events are very important for keeping, not the just like tournament warriors in the scene. You want to be able to appeal to a wider crowd, and side events are going to do that. But if they can do side events that appeal to everybody, like retro random, that sounds so cool. I don't know, maybe casuals don't like retro random, but I'm so excited for retro random. Yeah, that sounds so cool.
We will
But
find out.
yeah, we'll hopefully. I just want to, same thing that Audie was saying. It's just really cool to see this. So I want to encourage everybody out there to go check them out. Yeah, Hitmonchan would also be a great side event. But yeah, I just want to I want people to support them. So if you're here and going to Charlotte and you have the time, definitely go check these out. Like, I do want to support this endeavor. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about past events in Charlotte. We actually have Charlotte, then Greensboro, then Charlotte last year to talk about. Starting in 2018, though. Go ahead, Audie, take us in.
I was just trying to figure out because I did go to I think all 3 of these, and I was like, was it actually in Charlotte 2018? It was. I think it was. But yeah, so 2018 Charlotte was the first event with Intimidate and Cineroar. If you remember that, it was 3 weeks before the event. They announced that their Pokemon Bank was going to give out the hidden ability Litten, I think it was. And so this was the first event. Everyone's prep got shaken up a little bit. And here are the teams. Actually, Incineroar did not win or get second place for that matter. We see to Wolfie win with Ashton getting second place. Wolf with his Mega Charizard X team. This was also funny because I remember it was he was trying to keep it, Charizard generally you want to keep the form hidden, especially if you're Charizard X. You want to surprise people in closed team sheets. And he was on stream like round 1. So everyone knew it was Charizard X, but he still managed to win the regional with it.
Bro, to be fair, if you've got a Milotic, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's a Charizard X.
True.
And you got a Tyranitar, right? Like, yeah, it's pretty clear what it is, but
Not always that clear. Shout outs to Angel, my goat. Charizard Y and T-Tar, baby. Anyways, Ashton had the Mega Men's team. Dude, I'm looking at that guy and I just kind of think Roaring Moon when I look at it now, bro. My brain has been poisoned.
We had a long discussion in Tub about how does Salamence and how does Mega Men's actually fly? Like, are they supposed to be able to fly? So Men's still in our hearts, I guess.
Yeah. And then what is that? A Primarina in the second slot? What are these Pokemon? Why does Golden Go look that way? Anyways,
do we have a poison dragon type? Is that still a thing?
The important thing to look at we have the Dragalge, right?
Dragalge. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah. Anyway, and then Eternatus was the new one.
Thank you,
Pokedoku Star over here. Okay, so we're not here to talk about the teams, though. We're here to talk about the players, mostly because we're leading up to picking our smart monies. So we're looking at people who have done well.
Well, yeah, you clicked back, but we see Ashton second in both of them.
Well, you're gonna see. I think you're gonna see these teams at the Retro Rumble side event too. So you need to be ready.
Oh, true. that would be lit. So yeah, but talking about the names, Sean Bannon. I actually don't know if Sean would be attending this one. Brian Hume, I would imagine. Wolf, yeah, Wolf is actually sometimes a question mark, but I think Wolf is attending.
Is Wolf going?
He said he's coming back in 2024. I would assume he's back.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me text up Wolf. On that group chat I have with me, Wolf, and all the other top.
Ring
players.
up the hotline, bro.
You, Wolf, and Brian Yum, right? That's the group chat. That's the team building group.
Yeah, no. It's actually we have a group chat for people who have won 3 regionals or more, and so it's like me, Alberto, Gavin, Riley, Chua. We're all in that group chat.
Mm-hmm.
There, he got his second by beating you. Got his third a year ago.
Oh, Twitch chat said that Wolf's going to Charlotte. Perfect. The best source. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
His fans in Twitch chat said he was going to Charlotte during the previous regional. Okay. Yeah, sure.
I mean, somebody has to answer the "Where's Wolfie?" There has to be a reply to "Where's Wolfie? Where's Wolfie?" That's gonna be me on Saturday on the couch in Twitch chat, just saying, "Hey guys, where's Wolfie?" We're 1 round into the stream and I haven't seen Wolfie yet. Where is he?
You might not honestly. He probably will be the first stream match. You know that, almost definitely.
Very possibly. Let's talk about the next one. Alexander Williams.
I will say, Nate Wright has been playing again, and I would not be shocked to see him here because he made a comeback recently. So he's a name to look out for maybe. But yeah, let's move on to 2019 with Weeblewobs, Alex Williams, who actually won his first regional with the Ho-Oh Kyogre team. I will let someone else take it away.
Is this? I'm trying to remember if this is the same team, or at least similar team. I know Tommy made for, what was it? When was that tournament? It was in Sun Series at what was it? The Pennsylvania tournament we had that Andrew Burley used. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think just.
But I'm just remembering Ho-Oh Ogre. Yeah. No. Oh yeah, just need to beat that.
But yeah, this tournament, we see some, again, familiar names. We see Ashen, again, getting second, this time with Solgaleo Kyogre, which kind of forgot was a thing back in Moon Series. We see Santino get his first, I think this was his first top cut or first major result as well. Of course, he would really pop off a year later in 2020 with the Players' Cup. But yeah, this Hard Trick Room team served him very well. And then we see Brian Yum, who also was on the top cut, the last one, familiar face. And so he is a DC area player, so he'll be going down. And consistently doing well with that Zygarde team that you see he and Alvin used. Don't know how that team did as well as it did, but there it is. And then Z, also, I think top cut both of these as well. So, although, was this the one? Hold up, was this the tournament that Z got DQ'd from?
No.
Okay.
I thought you were going to bring up, is this the tournament that him and Kyle got in a car accident on the way to?
No, not
it's
that
also
one.
That was Knoxville.
No.
But I think there was one tournament where Abdul got top 8, bubbled into top, or but not bubbled in, but got top 8 off the DQ.
That was Roanoke.
That was Roanoke. Okay, one of those same area, same part of the country. But okay, so we see Kyle, and we see Alan. We see Alan also in top 8 of the Victory Road Tour, so that's another name to look out for. Although I think he's a California, or he is a California player, so I don't know if he's going to be flying cross country for this one. So yeah, some names to look out for, I guess. There. Do you want to talk about 2020?
Well, we also know 96 players entered at that tournament.
That's true. Yep. That is the good old days of peak.
Hey, that was pretty big for 2019.
No, honestly, yeah.
Huge. All right, let's talk about the next one that actually was pretty big. 730 players at Charlotte.
30 players.
In 2023. Adi did say 2020 last time. I didn't know if that was him referencing that. It was canceled in 2020 or not, but yeah, the next tournament that we have to talk about was 2023. I don't think I missed anything in between because, yeah, 2020. I don't know if there was any 2022.
No, there wasn't.
No.
Okay. So, yeah, just last year we saw Karis win it over Joe in the finals with honestly a very stacked top 8. A lot of names that I would not be surprised to see do it again at a tournament this weekend. And so, yeah, Luca, Chua, Steve,
Yeah, and
Zach.
if you go down the list, you see like all these names that we've are still seeing around every tournament.
Yep.
Yeah.
And oh wow, can you believe it? Glimdozo, still around a whole year later.
Choppa, oh my god, bro. Come on, Choppa.
All these other teams have fallen off. You're not going to see any Great Tusk anywhere, right? But you're not going to see Palance anywhere. But Glimdozo, that thing just never dies. It's always around. But yeah,
And we were talking trash about Tinkaton, but Wolf's got Tinkaton right here.
you think he
Are
runs
you
it
still
back
gonna
to
diss
Tinkaton?
Tinkaton?
Simpler days.
This was
What you think Espathra Sandy Shocks is holding up now?
I think that this was Wolf said that like no one believed in this team. No one thought he should ever. All of his friends told him not to run it. I think he started like 1-2 at this tournament and then ran it all the way back and made day 2, and then did quite well in day 2. So that's pretty cool to see one of the more innovative teams in the last event of this format. So we never got to see the meta progress past this, maybe for the better. But I remember absolutely for the better. I mean, all these top 6 are just super well known players, right? Just players who have all gotten top 8, top. I don't know. Yeah, Steven's gotten top 8 in North America. Luca hasn't, but very very accomplished players.
Stuart won a local recently, and I only know that because he has the same name as the dude that voices like Brock and Seto Kaiba.
Eric is a New
I just
York
want to
player,
know.
Right?
I know. I think he's like southeast,
Oh, okay.
like Virginia or something.
Yeah.
He won like a PC this past weekend.
I do think that Reg B was like probably the best format that we saw last year. It was probably like the most competitive and.
Close the tweet.
You can't do it if you're not going to read the tweet out. Is the problem?
That's true.
You got to commit to it.
But then he'd have to go and find the tweet.
I'd have to go and find the tweet.
I'm sure it's been linked enough. someone link it in chat so Alex can do the bit. I will say Nate Ortiz Cortex just barely miscut. I think he had I forget what the play was. He had a super sick play and it whiffed and it was like damn. But you see the Earthworm here getting all the 9th place. First, I think this is the first really big finish for Earthworm before Tinglu came out. But yeah, cool tournament. You see Choppa again on Glimdozo. He actually beat me in the last round in the quote unquote win it in. Neither of us were going to cut, but he had a cutting record, bubbled out.
Damn, who asked?
And yeah, you see Anton Stacks coming out here with the same Screamtail that they used to get top 4 at Portland. So I mean, obviously a very different team, but Screamtail Goldie still around, still kicking.
What was Adi on?
I was on the Jugular this time.
Doug.
This team was so based, and it had 2 tournaments where it was good. It was the Marcus used it the same weekend to do well at Stuttgart, I want to say, one of the European regionals, and then Z, Kyle, and I used this variant of it, or slightly different variants of it, but this team, and it was just such a fun team. Iron Jugular saw
day 2 run at Knoxville with it too.
Right. Oh, it was Knoxville and the European regional were the same day, and so they both.
Marcus won and both got top 8.
Yep.
But
so
classic me stealing Wolf's team. Can't believe it.
That's true.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's go ahead and bring it into Smart Money for this year. Caleb, you are the guest of honor, so you get the first pick. Who are you picking for Smart Money for Charlotte?
Can we only pick one?
You can only pick.
Sorry, yeah, you only pick one.
We give out one name.
Okay, well, so this isn't a Smart Money conversation. Then I just wanted to kind of tie all the old events back. Just the fact that Z was in all of those is definitely something to note.
And you're not going to pick Z? Wow, okay.
I'm
mean, yeah,
actually
you're
picking a newer player. I'm picking the Charlotte 2023 Senior Regional Champion, now first year master Zachary Weed.
Ooh,
He
okay.
got 35th at Pittsburgh and then top 16 at Toronto. So he's day two both regionals he's gone to so far this
Okay, he's
season.
on the up and up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I've been seeing Zachary Weed around, and every time, very immaturely just giggling like, weed.
Oh,
But,
that's actually funny. I didn't even read chat. He's Whimscott VGC in chat. He told me if I'm real, smart money him. So
Yo,
That's
is
funny.
the
Yeah.
same Whimsicott VGC that got drafted to the puppies?
the one and only.
That was the one name on the
Apparently-
roster I didn't recognize.
dude, apparently Caleb's real.
All right, he's
all
from
right.
Connecticut, so it's
Burns, who you taking?
Well, you know me. I'm very boring. I like to play Incineroar Mungus. I always use the best Pokemon. I'm just gonna smart money Wolf. He's back. His chat said he's back. Look, if his
Dad said
if
he's
been-
back.
if he's telling his chat he's going to Charlotte, he's definitely gonna win.
Dang, Burns faked me out with his lead up. I do think Wolf was a strong pick, and it was somebody else who I was considering, but I thought he was going to steal my pick because you were saying Incinemungus is back, so therefore I'm picking Paul Chua.
yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
No.
Paul
All right.
Chua is an Incinemungus goat. I don't know if he's running it or not. I've been playing
I know he's
lethal with
trying.
Paul, but Paul won't tell me which team. So.
I'm in it. Mungus go, bro.
That's true.
Paul
Yeah, that's
doesn't
true.
know his team yet.
Are you running Incinemungus?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Might
Damn.
be.
Might
I
be.
almost.
Oh man, I was actually gonna smart money Justin, but if he's not running Instant Amoongus, then I don't know if I can do that.
I might be lying to y'all just so y'all don't curse me.
True.
All
True.
right.
Also, don't pick Justin.
Don't
What?
pick me, please. Last time
What if
last
he's
time
lying,
you picked
though?
me, bro. last two times I've been smart. I think I got smart money for San Antonio. I got smart money for Pittsburgh, and I missed my flight. Things we got in that car crash at a San Antonio, so like I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. I will respect your wishes to not get smart money and instead,
Big Chuppa.
I was not going to pick Chuppa. I don't even know what Chuppa's using. That's probably why I'm not. I'm going to pick.
No insider trading.
I'm gonna pick Jody Azarelli. I know he's been putting in the work, and he's I think he's due. He hasn't won a regional yet. It's crazy. This is the year that all the old heads who haven't won a regional or haven't won in a long time are winning, and so I think it's Jody's turn. He's gonna break. That's not how you spell it. He's gonna break the streak, and win his first regional.
All right, let's go, Jody. A lot of old head picks. Caleb believes in the new, and I respect it. But let's go ahead and wrap things up with Calc is right.
All right.
Who'd you pick?
Who?
What's up?
Did you pick Alex? Did you pick Paul?
I did pick Paul. Sorry, yeah, I said all that because I was picking Paul.
All right. So we got the Calc is right. Caleb, do you have a Calc in mind?
I had a Calc in mind.
That's okay.
He blew it, bro.
We can come back. We can come back to you. Justin, do you have a Calc in mind?
No.
All right. Do I have to go first?
I'm working on. You have
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
Yeah, you
go ahead
show
and lead us
how
off.
it's done.
All right. Okay. Today was the Spam. Spam dominated the Victory Road Tour. You got to know your Spam calcs, and you got to know how they interact with your Incineroar, your boy. And so let's say you ran a FizzDef Incineroar because you don't respect Spam, and you're facing a Speed Booster Iron Crown. It has Helping Hand, and it clicks Helping Hand Focus Blast. It goes all in. It's going to kill your Incineroar with Speed Booster, by the way. Speed Booster Iron Crown. And Helping Hand Focus Blast to try to kill the Incineroar. Incineroar is 252 HP, 100 Spadef, and not a Spadef boosting nature. It's a defense boosting nature. How much is it doing?
Could you
Do we go in
repeat
order?
it in short? Audio I zoned out.
Oh, sorry.
I was reading
It is
chat.
Helping Hand, Speed Boosting, Iron Crown, Focus Blast into
Got it.
252, 100 Incineroar.
Not AV or anything.
No AV. Citrus Berry. So if it doesn't kill, you're going back up.
Yep. All right, I got my calc. I'm locked in. Caleb, do you know the rules of the game?
I do not. I imagine we don't calc it ourselves.
No, you do
No,
not.
that's one of the
So-
main. That is actually the first rule.
you are going to say a number. When everyone's
But
ready,
first,
you're
hold
going to
on.
say a
First,
number. And then
yeah, you
if that-
verbally confirm that you're ready.
Yes.
Okay.
And then once everyone confirms they're ready, I'll list you guys off one by one. You will say a number, and if that number is in the damage range for the damage
Percentage
calc,
range.
percentage range,
Percentage range. Got
yes,
it.
percentage.
Got it.
Then you are right,
Alright,
and if it's outside the range, then you are wrong.
Sorry, what's the calc again?
It is
It's
speed
Speed
booster,
Booster, Helping
Iron
Hand.
Crown with
Okay.
helping hand, focus blast, going into a 252 HP, 100 speed def Incineroar.
Okay. I have my calc.
Yeah, I'm ready. So
I'm ready.
yeah, locked in. Okay.
All right, Caleb, batter up.
In the range, I'll say like 94%.
94%. All right, what do you have?
I was.
Justin?
Oh, dang.
80%.
What was it?
85%.
85%. Okay.
And
I said
Alex.
80.
Okay. I'll split the middle with my number that I didn't change. I promise. It was 90. I'm just sitting at 90. Just in between my friends here. All right, Adi, tell us what it is.
This is not the right set, is it? I guess it is. Yeah, this is Iron Bundle. That's why. Okay.
It's the wrong Pokemon.
Iron Crown, Psyspam Speed Booster, Focus Blast with Helping Hand into Incineroar is doing 89.1 to 105.9. So I think everyone except for Justin is in the range. Has a 37% chance to kill.
Dang. I snuck in. Holy.
So
It has a chance to kill. Go Iron Crown. Good for you.
It's still helping hand boosted, but
I thought it was going to be low because I was like using a Chiyu team a few weeks ago, and the Iron Crown focus blasted me, and I lived. And I wasn't even like bulky Chiyu.
yeah, this is with Helping Hand boosted too. So it's doing a lot, and it's not even that def invested in Incineroar. But
Yeah.
you know, probably even if you are defense invested, probably worth EVing to live this thing. If someone has
Yeah.
the cojones to click Helping Hand Focus Blast.
I know a number of them also run Terra Blast, Terra Water, or Ground, which I think would be the exact same,
No, because it's. Oh yeah, it would be the exact same.
right? Stab 80 is 120, so kind of funny.
All right. Has anyone else thought of a calc in the meantime? That is ready to go?
yeah, I have one.
Go for it.
All right, we'll go with Glamora Meteor Beam Set, standard. The one that this calc gives off into.
I have
We'll
to know
go
what
into
the calc is
a
off. Okay.
156 timid.
156 timid. All right.
Into a max HP Glamora.
Oh,
No
just
other
like in the
investment.
mirror?
Yeah.
Max HP 4 SPDF or 0 SPDF?
0 SPDF.
Okay. I've got my number.
I've got a number.
I have a number.
Okay. And then
So
sorry, I
once
cut
we're all
out-
locked in, Caleb, you just pick somebody to call on one by one.
Yeah. I cut out for a sec. Adi, you're good.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. I'll call you off then, Adi.
All
What's
right.
your number?
I think it's killing. I think it's doing 104%.
Okay. Alex
That was my number, so I'll go above and go 105.
and Justin.
I will say, it's max HP, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go like 98%.
Ooh, okay, saucy.
Well, you're all in the range.
Oh,
What?
okay, hold
Oh,
on.
this is helping
So,
it,
hold
right?
on.
So we got. It looks like it's doing 90 to 106% is what I'm seeing.
I brought this up because I forget who played the mirror at Portland, but I overheard. I think it was Zach and Carson, and I believe Carson was the timid one, and he just one shot the opposing Glim in the mirror. I was like, damn. So,
I thought it was going to be more favored. Obviously, we were on the higher end of the range, but yeah, originally before that I realized that the Glamora was like max HP and bulky. I was going to say like 113 or something. Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta know your Glim calcs for Charlotte. So
kind of true, kind of true.
All right, Justin, Alex, either y'all ready?
I got one.
Go for it.
Do it.
So this is, let's say we have Terra Poison Porygon 2 against a Flutter Mane. The Porygon 2 has an attack boost, it's teared into Terra Poison, and it's using Terra Blast. And it's just no attack investment, it just has the max IV.
Yeah, neutral nature, I'm assuming.
Yeah, neutral nature.
Terra Blast into what kind of bulk on the Flutter?
Just 4 HP.
4 HP.
All right, I got a number.
I also have a number.
yeah, I'm good.
Alright, let's go with Caleb first.
I was thinking 87.
Okay, Alex?
I feel like it's killing pretty bad. I'm gonna try 110.
Alright,
Oh,
Audie.
oh wow, I am much lower. I am much closer to Caleb. I'm going 80.
Alright, let's plug it in.
I hope I'm not very bad here. Uh-oh.
Poison, bold.
Poison's got an attack stat,
bold,
right?
or is it just neutral nature?
Neutral
Just
nature.
do neutral nature.
And make sure that you set the IVs to 31.
Yes,
The attack stat should be
Oh,
100.
darn.
Terra Blast.
Did I say 84?
It's at 87.
87. I remember.
Into
84 is
Fluttermane.
also wrong.
That is 4 HP, 0 defense. It is doing
Yes.
69 to 82.
What? Shit, I thought this thing was dead. Why did I think it was dead?
It's a 0 attack.
It's only
investment.
base 80 attack. Yeah.
Ghost
Oh,
is
man.
Ghost resists poison.
I know. I was like thinking that P2 was way more juiced than it is. 80 is not that high.
No. It is funny that
It's
it got
+1.
the attack boost though. I do think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. All right, Alex, you're up.
I guess I am up, and I couldn't think of a better target Pokemon. But I know what offensive Pokemon I want to use. Hold on. Let me look at Limitless really quick. What are people using? What are the Pokemon that people use today these days?
Amoonguss, Iron Hands.
Uh.
No, wait, that's last format. Dragonite,
Hey, Iron Hands could have a big
Entei.
comeback.
I actually don't know this Calc. Let's just do it. It's kind of a boring one. But let's look at Raging Bolt, using Draco Meteor into a 4 HP Landorus Eye.
What's the Raging
For
Bolt
the
set?
Raging Bolt. The Raging Bolt set, well, you just use Lexicon's Goggle Raging Bolt.
Oh, okay, so 100 special attack, modest. Right.
Yeah, just like the Calc standard.
All right, and it's into just 4 HP, Landorus.
4 HP Lando Eye.
Yeah. Okay, I got a number.
I think I have a number.
Sorry, say the calc again.
It's just 100 special attack Raging Bolt Draco into Lando Eye.
So
Oh,
I
okay.
Dracoed one Landorus in my tournament run, and I missed it. So I never actually get to see it.
The number.
Okay, let's start with Burns.
Man, I don't.
He lied about having a number.
105. 105.
105.
I was going 107.
107. Caleb thinks this thing's dead.
I think
Audie.
it's a roll to kill, but I'm going on the lower end. I'm going 97.
97. All right, plug it in, Audie. I'm excited.
All right, we got Calc default versus offensive Landorus. It is doing 82.3 to 97.5.
Jeez.
Oh, sorry, that's
Wow.
Force Bedef and not 4 HP, but same idea.
Yeah.
82.4 to 98.1.
Yeah.
I guess I'm using a life orb. That's right. That's what I was thinking.
Those bolts
Yeah.
is weak.
This bolt is weak. Honestly, the Draco, I was like, does this kill? I hope it kills. No. You gotta chip this thing for Draco, but honestly, you force it to Terra Poison and you're gonna Thunderclap it afterwards. It's chill.
It's got a life
True.
orb. It's fine.
True, it's just gonna die to recoil.
Yeah, you put your
Yep.
Weezing on the field and it dies to recoil.
Mm-hmm. 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 That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or just get a Chi-Yu or something, or a helping hand. I don't know. You need a multiplier, unfortunately. Yeah, if the Mon was Life Orb, if it had Terra Electric, sorry, it would have to be Terra Dragon. Whoops. Anyways, um, that's it though. That's Calc is right, and that's it for Tub Takes.
Yeah, that is so. Thank you all for tuning in. Yeah, so if you missed any part of the show, you can check us out tomorrow on YouTube, where the entire VOD is going to be uploaded. And like I had linked at the very beginning, go check out the NPA's official Twitch channel as well. That Caleb mentioned, because that's going to be, I don't is it shout out? How do you do this thing? NPA. What's the channel name?
NPA_Pokemon.
NPA Pokemon. So go check them out as well, because they're going to be doing some more NPA content. That's some very high level content. And in the meantime, yeah, I guess anything else, or I guess it should be good to rate someone.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm looking. Kira's streaming. Master Mark is streaming. Kira's not actually playing VGC.
We can do. It looks like Hasty's playing VGC. Do her.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna send you guys over to Hasty. Let her know where you came from, and thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you all later.
Peace out, peeps.
Boy.